Hello, 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 everybody. How are you? How are you? How are you? This is Shalina Diva, the Purpose Driven Diva, and I am so excited about going live tonight. Okay, you guys, I'm super, super excited, and I'm so glad that we're here together. Okay, so I am Shalina Diva, the Purpose Driven Diva, and I love to show women how to discover, invest, value, and appreciate their lives and business. And through my company, Best Selling Year, we show women how to take what they know, whether it's the formal education that they got from higher education, like graduate school, undergraduate school, getting their PhD, whether it's the skill sets that they've gleaned over the years from corporate America, or if it's those valuable life lessons that they've learned by overcoming obstacles in their life. Whatever it is that you want to teach, if you want to have an impact and if you want to if you want to have income, then you come to us at Best Selling Year and we will make that happen. We specialize in helping you to create a profitable personal brand, how to create content marketing that positions you as an expert and gets you paid. And finally, we help you to package up your brilliance and your knowledge into digital products and services. Okay, so that's about me. That's about Best Selling Year. That's what we do. What I want to know is I want you all to say hello, hello, Shar, hello, hello, hello. And then I want you to tell us, where are you tuning in from? So I always have a very interactive live. Okay, so tell me, where are you tuning in from? All right, and don't be shy. So tonight, you guys, I promise you, I'm going to give you the goods. Tonight, I'm going to show you how to create your first online class. Okay, your first online class. How many of you out there would really love to create an online class where you teach it, you put it on your online platform, and you get paid for it over and over and over again? If that is you, then type class in the comments. Type class in the comments. And I'm going to tell you something. There's nothing like learning the skill of taking what's in here, what you know, all those years of experience, your skill sets and your knowledge, is nothing like taking that and being able to package into a digital. And when I say digital, what I mean is that you aren't in a workshop face to face with anyone. You aren't in a classroom or anything, but all of your stuff is online. So it may be a video class that you do and you're teaching people and you're very effective and you're helping them to get results and you're getting paid. And so with this type of model, you do it once and you get paid over and over and over again. That is what I do. And I do that over and over and over again. So if that's you, definitely let me know. So we have Shar. She is tuning in from Detroit, Michigan. The D is in the house. We have Shakima S. Perry. She's in the house. And she wants, listen, she's like, listen, I want to know, I want to create those digital classes. All right, Shar, she wants to create those digital classes. Now, Shakima's not being totally honest because Shakima has created several classes and she's earned a few $100s from selling her classes. All right, so those of you, before I begin, I really want to know, like, kind of where are we starting? So have you ever created a class before? If you have, type a Y in the comments. Yes, right? If you've never done it before, type an N in the comments, right? If you're thinking about it, you've been wanting to do it, put a T in the comments. So it's either Y for yes, an N for no, and then a T for like, I've been thinking about it, but I get tripped up. I don't really know. All right. So Candace says class. Candace is like, listen, she's tuning in from YouTube, you guys. So everybody say hello to YouTube. What's up, YouTube? Give YouTube some love. So she wants to know how to create these digital classes, right? Is that Saji? Saji is from the Caribbean. Hey, hey, hey. I wish I was in the Caribbean right now. I could really use a vacation. I've been working really hard. So welcome, everyone. If this is your first time tuning into me, type a 1 in the comments. So I gave you several instructions, right? A Y if you've ever taught a class before. And if you've never taught an online class before. T if you're thinking about it, but you don't really know, you have questions. So this definitely, this live will definitely be for you. And then those of you, if this is your first time tuning into me, type a 1. Okay, so all right, so Candace, this is a 1. No, this is a T. She's thinking about an online class, all right? Okay, so I'm just saying, it's like this is their first time being introduced to me. That's good. Saji is a 1, right? So this is their first time. And we have another one, Miss Diana, and she's from North Carolina. So as you guys can see, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but you may not know, I am from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. But because I learned how to harness the power of the internet, do you see how many lives I'm impacting right now? We have someone from the Bahamas. We have someone from North Carolina. I know Shakima is from Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia. Shar is from Detroit. So if you haven't even been privy to that, that's why you really need to do this digital, because you can now impact the lives of so many people, right? So many people. And someone says, all right, so no, she has never created a digital class. She's thinking about it, and I would love to learn. This is my first time tuning in. All right, Tamilia, thank you so much for that. So you guys follow directions very, very well. So all of my T's, you're thinking about it. I want to ask you this question. What's stopping you from creating it? Tell me, let me help you out. Is it like the technology? You don't know the technology. Is it you don't know what to teach? Or is it you're like, I don't know if people will be interested in what I have to share? So tell me, is it the technology? I don't know how to do that. Listen, I don't know how to do it. Is it if it's a technology, type tech, TECH? Is it I really don't know what to teach? So put teach because you don't know what to teach. Or is it you're like, I don't think people will buy what I have? And the reason why you want to be so, I need you to be clear on that, is so I know how to speak to you and I know how to talk to you. So Tamilia, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Tamilia says, Decatur, Georgia, but I attended Germantown High. Oh, really? You know they shut down Germantown High. You talking about in Philly, they shut it down, girl. It's sad. I think they're going to turn it into condos. But anyway, all right. So Candace says she doesn't know what to teach. How many of you are like Candace and like, listen, I don't even know what to teach people. All right. And then I'm just saying from Richmond, Virginia, and the tech. So I'm just saying, it's like, I don't even know how you even get on a computer. I don't know how to teach. I don't know how to do none of that stuff. Right. So thank you for that. Thank you for that. And I know that some of my students, they used to struggle with value. Value was actually that last option with, I don't think people gonna buy my stuff. You know what I mean? I don't know. And so this one says, T I don't have much experience. I have many things I would love to teach. That's actually a great thing. It's a great thing that you have many things you would love to teach. But for a lot of people who are just starting out, it's a blessing and it's a curse. It's a blessing in that, wow, look at all those opportunities you have to impact the lives of people, and look at how much money you can earn once you learn this skill. But then I won't call it the curse, but the drawback is, when you don't believe in the value that you bring, you feel like it makes it hard for you to commit to teaching one thing at a time. And so you're like, a lot of people feel like, well, if I commit to teaching this, you listen to this broken information industry that makes you think that like you can only teach one thing. And if you teach multiple things, you're like a jack of all trades, is brand confusion, or you're all over the place. I'm here to tell you that's not true. So sometimes it's hard to commit. Like when you get a coach like me who's like, okay, tell me a skill set that you have and that you feel comfortable teaching. And I'm gonna get into this a little bit later, you've had success in that people know about. That's the key, right? So if you check all those boxes, I'm like, okay, teach this first. And people will argue with me like, no, because I can do this too. And at some point, you have to make a decision. And ladies, you have to remember, just because you're teaching one thing this time, it doesn't mean that you can't go and teach something else the next time. And don't listen to these people who say, oh, it's brand confusion, you're all over the place. Because when you really think about it, you're really not. I'm going to show you how you are not. Okay. So here's how you create your first online class. I have a program called Build Your Online School. The link is below right here. Check it out. Enrollment closes on Saturday. And I not only teach you how to build your own online platform, what I do is I show you how to create and teach your first classes and show you how to get sales. So it's really, really amazing. But the first thing that you do is you decide, you know what, I have value, I know my stuff, and I have a desire that I want to teach people a skill. I want to positively impact their lives. I want to teach them. And guess what? I'm going to put a price on it. Because the thing about some of you is honestly, you have been teaching classes. You have been teaching. You just haven't been putting a price tag on it. You haven't been putting a value on your value. You give everything away for free. So before I move on, how many of you either suffered from the free Or currently you're like, you know what, Shalina, people come to me all the time and they ask me how to do this, they ask me how to do that. I help them, they get results, and I look like, wow, I wasn't even compensated. And after a while it becomes draining. If that's you, if you're always giving a free, type free in the comments. The reason being is because, I taught last week, don't be a walking broke Google. You go to Google whenever you want to learn something. So you type a question in Google, and guess what? Google will give you the answer, but Google gets paid every time you type in a question. But every time people come to you with a question and you give them an answer, you're not getting paid. So you're a walking broke Google. So you have to decide, no longer am I going to be a walking broke Google, because I know my stuff. So you have to put a value on your value. Even if it's $17 or $27, at least you got something out of the deal and they had to invest. Because when you're first starting out, like people say, oh, charge all these huge prices. I'm like, how can a new person who really isn't sure of the value that they bring, how can you tell them to put a huge price tag on something and they can't even confidently present that? It doesn't work that way. You have to be in alignment. Your confidence have to be there. You have to be in alignment. You have to be clear on your value. All right. So I have a few people I have a few truth tellers. Tamilia saying free. All right. Shar is saying, I suffer from the free, but that's over. Shar, why is it over? Tell them why it's over, Shar. And listen, it's nothing to be ashamed of, because with the free, you know what actually happened with the free? You actually realize that you're smart. You know your stuff, and people have actually validated you. You didn't know, because they wouldn't come to you for answers if you didn't know what you were talking about. So you know what you're talking about. So those of you who feel like, I don't know if people are going to pay me, because no, you know what you're talking about. So what I want you to do with those of you, hey, Sophia, right? Those of you who suffer from the free, I'm going to help you create your first online class right now. What I want you to do is I want you to write down the top 10 questions that people come and they ask you. The top 10. Those are your frequently asked questions. And I want you to answer them, right? Then what I want you to do, I want you to divide it in two. So now you have 5 frequently asked questions, and then you have 5 and 5. Then what I want you to do is I want you to look in the list of the 5 and the 5. And then I want you to see, is there a pattern? Are some of these questions associated with each other? Is there a beginning, a middle, and an end? If there is, you want to kind of whittle them down to 3. If you find 3 questions that are related, 3 questions that are like, you do this first, you do this second, and you do this third, and if they do those 3 things, they can get a result, that's your first class. See, because the thing is, we overcomplicate classes, and I teach my students, you're not shoving 50 million 11 topics and concepts into an hour or a 90-minute class. You're going to overload people. It's called info dumping, and people are going to be confused. Stuff going to be over their head. You're just going to be like dumping all this stuff on them, and they're going to be confused, and they're going to be turned off, and they'll never purchase from you again. So how many of you are guilty? How many of you are guilty of just dumping everything you know into a course or a product? So I'm just saying, is never experienced the free. So no one's ever come to you and picked your brain for free? Wonderful for you. Shar says it's over because I've set up processes to monetize. And Shar is also in my online school. All right. So remember, take your top 10 questions that they ask you, divide them in 5, because usually, when you break them down to 5 and 5, you'll really begin to hone in on 3 that has a first step, second step, third step. And once they do that, they'll be able to complete something. That's your first class. Your first class should be something that you can do with your eyes closed. It's super easy, your eyes closed, and you have experience in it. And not only do you have experience in it, you have social proof. So those of you who don't know what social proof is, social proof are things like pictures of you in action teaching, letters of recommendations, testimonials, video testimonials, you talking about this concept or whatever, because now people can say, oh yeah, Shalina, yeah, I can totally see her teaching the class about how to create your first online class, because that's what she's about. See, the problem some of you have is that you don't you can put together like this class, but it's going to be hard for you to sell it because you have no social proof. You're not telling people what you're about. You're not visually sharing it. Like, people think it's social media, but it's really truly visual media. People need to see what you're about. How many of you actually share what you're about? How many of you share your journey? How many of you take pictures and share the pictures of you teaching? How many of you share the interviews that you do? How many of you share your client testimonials? How many of you do that on a consistent basis? Right? All right. So Seiji says free. She's been doing that, right? We're going to stop that. No mas. All of the frees write no mas. NOMAS. No mo. That's no mo. That's what that means. So how many of you share what you do? How many of you share what excites you? How many of you share it? If you share it, type share in the comments. If you don't, that's okay, because starting tonight, you're going to start to showcase your brilliance. You're going to start to showcase to people what it is that you love to do. So it makes it easier. So once you did it to the top 10, whittled it down, broke it 5 and 5, found 3. That's a first, second, and third step. And if people followed it, they can get a result. So now you're going to take that and say, all right. You start with the end result. So if they do these 3 things, they're going to know how to do blank. And I want you to title your class, How to Do Blank. When you do your first class, there's no need to get jiggy, no need to do all this esoteric titles where people need to know what the heck you're going to deliver. They need to know what is the result going to be. And you may feel like, well, no, I need to go deeper. No, you do not. You need to hit those 3 points. You need to really explain it. You need to get them some action steps, and you put a bow on it. And believe it or not, they're going to be so appreciative because you're going to explain it. You're not going to gloss over stuff. You're going to explain it. You're going to walk them through it. And at the end of that class, they should be able to achieve the result that you've promised. And then if you do it good enough, right? Because remember, you had 10 questions. You only served up 3. You have how many more questions? 7. You can go back to the 7, pull out another 3. That's your next offering. And then who are you going to offer it to? You're going to offer it to everybody, but you're going to go back to those people who took that first class and say, hey, if you enjoyed this, you're going to love this. And some may say I'm oversimplifying it, but I say you're overcomplicating it. That is how you have repeat buyers. That is how you have people who but you don't want people to just buy something once from you. You want them to keep buying over and over and over again. And if you look at my rule of 3, right? You have 10 top questions. You can go back into that same pile again and pull out 3 more concepts, 3 more points, and offer a third class. All right. So, all right. They said that no mas, honey. All right. So Shar, she shares. Shakima, she shares. That's good. Those of you who don't, you have to get out of your own way. You have to show people that you can do this, because if you're going to ask them for money, they need proof. So start collecting your testimonials. Start asking like, hey, can you give me a testimonial? People will give it, right? Start being strategic about the pictures that you take. Start talking about what you're about so that when you drop a class, it makes sense. Is this making sense to anyone? And I told you I was going to tell you how to create your first online class, but I actually gave you a strategy to create your first 3, all based upon stuff that you have up until this point been giving away for free. And also breaking the myth that your first class has to be so deep and so complicated. And you have to, it doesn't. And you have to remember, you take 3 things and you teach it, but you got to remember, you're an expert at this. You're very skilled at this. You know your stuff. We don't. So you can like really get into it and stuff like that, but you have to be measured in what you give to people and what you teach them. Because if you don't put a limit on it, you're going to just overload people and they're not going to even listen to what you're saying. Because you have to remember, you're the expert. You know all the ins and outs. You know the shortcuts. You know the secrets. We don't. We're trying to learn from you. So does this make sense to anyone? So Shar is saying makes sense. Does it make sense to anybody over there in YouTube land? Does it make sense to you that you don't have to, you know what I mean, overcomplicate it? And then the thing about it is, and people, they look at me and they say, with the smaller offerings, is in order to position yourself as an expert, you should start creating offerings, because remember, your classes, they are solutions to people's problems. You're a professional problem solver, meaning people have a problem, you're going to solve it for a fee. In fact, I'm teaching a class, it's 27, it's 37. I love that sweet spot for new people simply because it helps you to build up your confidence. It helps you to learn how to sell, and it helps you to learn how to deliver it. It helps you to really go for it, right? Because with my clients, we set goals of like 100, 250, 300, 500. And if you break that down, it takes a couple of people to reach that. But you guys need to stretch. You need to stop doubting yourself, right? You need to get down and you need to get dirty in there. All right. So I hear, hey, Tiffany. Tiffany is saying, yes, it makes sense. Rue is saying, absolutely. Hey, Shakeem is saying it makes sense. Shar is saying, my biggest issue is just packaging my offerings. And if it's packaging your offerings, listen, I teach my clients, just do classes in the beginning until you learn how to package. Do classes, and you keep doing classes and you keep doing classes, and before you know it, you can put a bundle together. Before you know it, you can put an actual course together. The mistake a lot of new coaches make is that they set out to build a course. First of all, people don't know you well enough to devote 4 weeks or 8 weeks or 12 weeks or a year of their lives with you. People want to get quick and fast results. You have to learn how to teach efficiently, and a masterclass is the way to do it. People want to get quick results. So that is how you can learn to start packaging your stuff. So you should be thinking about solving one problem per class. One problem per class, give them stuff to do, help them, and help them out. And you'll be amazed how that works. And then you create that next thing. Then you create that next thing. So that's what I want you to focus on in terms of packaging up your offerings. Okay, so that's how you do your first class. So then I touched upon it a little bit. Well, what do I charge for something like that? Like I said, I think the 37, anywhere from 37 to 47, I think that's a nice sweet spot for new people. You want to know why? Because $37 is not a lot of money for somebody to take a chance on you. 47 is also not a lot of money for people to take a chance on you, for them to give you some play, for you to know what it's like to create something, put your ideas out there, and have someone to validate it by paying you. So that's why I say in the beginning, 37, 47, those are sweet spots. People will be like, 37, I'll give her some play. It ain't that big of a deal. And then you blow them away. And they're like, wow, this should have been so much more. But you had to become comfortable teaching. How many of you have taught an online class before, like taught, did a webinar? If you've never done that before, and so your class is the first time, oh my goodness, you're going to have to get used to Zoom. You're going to have to get used to the tech. You're going to have to teach. It's a lot that goes into it. So I don't really, and so being validated is with them buying it, it makes you feel a lot better. Also, too, you guys, I also teach this. Shara says, I love that. Thank you. I also teach this, you guys, to pre-sell your class. So what does pre-selling mean? Pre-selling is this. Let's just say I did the 10. I followed what Shalina Diva said. I did the 10 frequently asked questions, divided it in 5 and 5. Then I honed in on 3. That's step 1, 2, and 3. All right, that can solve a problem. I named my class How To. All right, I'm going to do 37 because she said 37 to 47. I ain't going to do 47 because I don't really know. I'm going to do 37. I started showing my pictures, my testimonials that's related to my class offering, so people know I'm real deal. I took her live stream class, so I'm live streaming. I know how to do that and everything. I took that Zoom Superstar class, so I know how to teach on Zoom and everything like that. And she taught me to pre-sell it. So pre-selling is you do all of that, have your sales page, have the idea, have the concept, have the promise, the results you're going to deliver on, and you haven't created not one thing. You haven't created a video, a PDF, nothing. All you've created is a sales page, the button to get paid, a graphic for it, and all that stuff. And you're like, how can you do that? Like, what are people buying? People are buying your idea. People are buying your concept. People are buying your solution. And then I teach it live. The reason why you want to teach it live is nothing like teaching it live. You get that audience interaction. You get to going, they get to going, and you're teaching. You record it, then you put it up on your online school. And so if you caught what I just told you, you're selling something that doesn't really exist yet. So imagine if you're new, you're scared, you don't really know, you're shaky on the Zoom, you're scared, but you're following what Shalina's saying. You're putting this class out there. You start marketing it tonight, even though you're not teaching until next week. They're going to hop on like a Zoom or something, going to teach it live. But yet and still, you've already earned $1,000. Yet and still, you've already earned $500. What do you think that's going to do for your confidence? Do you think you're going to feel more confident when you step up to teach? Or, so that's another thing. Pre-sell it. And a lot of people, they come to me like, oh, I already know what course I want to do. I have all my modules. I'm like, man, leave that junk over there, because it is probably just junk. And the reason why I'm going to say that is because, have you validated that? Did people tell you they want that? Do you know that they need that? Did you just sit in your room and say, this is what I think people need? That's the biggest mistake. And then you're probably all stuffy and and people are not even going to watch it. They might buy it, but they're not going to watch it. And that's not a good coach. That's not a good teacher. If you look at my stats in my online school, it's nothing but completions. They actually watch my classes. Because I'm transformational. Don't you want to be transformational? Because if you're like, well, I'm going to just record something and put it up there, don't do that. That stuff is stale. You want to give like live. And even though when you do it live and you record it and you put it on your school, that energy is still there. They'll feel like, dang, it's feel like she's teaching this to me right now. And you taught it a year ago. You taught it a few months ago. You taught it last week. Is this freeing anybody right now? Is this taking some of the pressure off? Is this taking some of the weight off? And then those of you who said the tech, when you join my online school, I teach you all that stuff. Teach you step by step by step by step. So Shakima is talking about, she knows by experience, taking her time. Seiji says, yes, making a lot of sense. Is this taking the pressure off of some of you in terms of, wow, I really can do this? And you can create a class about anything. Like, my clients like Shakima, they laugh at me. I'm like, listen, if you're a goat herder and you want to teach people how to goat herd and how to raise great, amazing sheep and all this, I can teach you. Listen, I can show you how to turn that into some serious cash. It doesn't matter. I have one of my clients today. She's an optometrist. She helps people with their eyes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have so many different clients. It doesn't matter if you're into wellness and nutrition, if you're into dance, if you're into acting. It doesn't matter. I can show you how to do that. All right. So Shara is saying, yes, it's making sense. It's taking pressure. So how many of you right now are like, listen, I think I can teach a class. Like occasionally I got to learn the tech. I probably got to learn, like, hone in on what to teach. And I'm going to listen to what you said about all that other stuff, marketing it. I can pre-sell it. How many of you are like, I think I can do it though? It's not as bad as I thought. It's not as hard as I thought. And at least now you're throwing your name. Like, now you're like, I really believe I can do it. Now look, hold me. Wait. Y'all like, look, I believe I can do it, but listen, I'm not techie. So I'm going to need a lot of help there. Listen, like, I don't like that live stream stuff, but I'm tired of being stuck. I'm tired of being broke. Broke meaning you're not making money in your coaching business, not that you're broke, right? But I'm tired of not having impact. But I mean, if you teach me and support me, I'll do it. How many of you are like that now? Like, I trust you. I'll do it. If that's how you're feeling, then my goal for tonight is accomplished, because some of you just need to be inspired. You need to be encouraged and empowered, and you can do this. You have people like Shakima who had no prior experience with online coaching coming in and killing the game. Why? Because she was coachable. Why? Because she did the work. Why? Because she didn't give up whenever she got frustrated. How many of you start and stop? So Clover says, okay. Tiffany, she says, yes, she feels better. Shar, she feels a lot better. So the thing is, you can do it. You have to stop holding you back, thinking that you can't do it, and you really, really can. So how many of you start and stop, start and stop? Soon as something comes up, you stop. You start out like gangbusters, something come up, then you fall back. Then you feel bad, then you go through this cycle, then you're like, all right, I'm gonna pick myself back up, I'm gonna do it. And you start and stop, start and stop, start and stop. That's what's been holding you back, because you guys probably suffer from perfectionism, thinking that everything has to be perfect, and it doesn't. And Shakima, she's a really good example. Last night, she was telling people that about her first class. And so she came and said, yes, Shalina Brosa gives you a whole lot of support because I know you need it. I know I needed it, right? So Shakima will tell you she earned almost $1,000 on her first class ever, right? And then she pre-sold it. Then when she went to teach it, she said, oh, she gave the story last night. It was so funny. She said, man, she knew she was going to kill it. And she started teaching, and her slides weren't advancing. So people were like, we hear you, but we don't see the slides. And it was like, oh my gosh. So that kind of messed that up, right? And she's like, then she came back on, it didn't record. Then she's like, Shalina, it didn't record. I'm like, we got to do it over again. So she did it again, and more people signed up. So I just want to free you from the thing of thinking that you have to be perfect, of thinking that everything has to be in order. That is not what's going to do it. What's going to do it is you having faith and taking action. And if you listen to me, it's a whole lot of strategy. And just listen. And like I keep telling people, this is the season of obedience. I'm the kind of coach, I'm giving you the answer. You just got to do it. And it's so funny. I have some clients who, even I give them the answer, and then they want to debate the answer. And I'm like, okay, so after you finish debating and all that, you're going to come to the realize I'm right. And it's not even from an egotistical thing. I'm just like this. Look, we don't have the time to be going back and forth, because some of you have wasted too much time doubting yourself, being fearful, being disobedient. No, God told you, when God told you to do X, Y, and Z, you have yet to do it. Not doing what you're supposed to do because you care about what too many other people think. Not doing what you want to do because people in your life that you revere, they want you to do something else. See, you've wasted too much time. So when you get to me, you got to get on time. So it's like, okay, so after they want to debate, and it comes back and I'm right because I researched this stuff and because I want you to win. I don't want you wasting any more time researching. And that's the problem with a lot of my clients. You are in analysis paralysis. You've taken so many courses, so many webinars, so many classes. You have all this information that you don't know what to do with. And that is what I was cautioning you about earlier when you teach these classes. Don't give people all that information. They're not going to do anything with it. So with me, here's the answer, boo. Now you need to do it. It's like, I can't do your push-ups. You need to do your own push-ups. So you have the answer. It's just implement. Just get the answer. And I can understand where you're coming from, because in this industry, so many people, they charge you an arm and a leg and then make you do the research, and then you still don't get what they promised. But it's not like that with me. And there are other coaches like me. We're not like that. So what I wanted you all to do is you have to be obedient. So Nadira says she just joined the school. She says, this is encouraging. She came and says, Shalina knows what she's talking about. Listen to her. Listen, I eat, sleep, and breathe online or virtual coaching. And I love it. So I'm always coming up with innovative ways of doing things. And I don't just teach video classes. I create virtual experiences. And I teach my clients how to do that. There's so much more that you can do, but you have to step from behind your fear. You have to step from behind your self-doubt. You have to step from behind like what other people think. You just need to listen. This is a season of obedience. Just listen, follow directions, and shock yourself. And it's nothing like that money coming in. It's nothing like those PayPal notifications. It's nothing like it's nothing like it. It's nothing like that real life money rolling into your account. It's nothing like that real life money in your PayPal account. It's nothing like that real life money in your Stripe account. It's nothing like receiving daily deposits to your bank account from Stripe. Why? Because you humbled yourself. Why? Because you believed in yourself. Why? Because you were obedient and you listened and you took action. And you realize that you didn't have to be perfect. You just had to be in motion. You just had to be in action. And then God will bless. Let me tell you something. When people see you doing something and they see that passion you have, they will invest in you just because it's exciting. And they'll be like, what is she teaching? I don't know, but I want to support her. And you know what? Not only am I going to sign up, I got a cousin. My cousin needs it. So I'm going to tell my cousin about it and I'll sponsor my cousin. That happens. How many of my clients watching, how many times has that happened that people sponsored people for your classes? They said, I'm going to pay on behalf of so-and-so because I know they need it. Why? Because they saw that you saw the value in what you're doing. They see your passion. They see that you want to impact people and they want to support you. It is truly, truly that simple. And we overcomplicate it so much. You all can win. You can win at this thing. Does anybody have any questions, you guys? Because I always have to just give God the glory. Let me tell y'all something. This last year, my stepmom passed away. I lost my stepmom, right? And I lost my stepmom, and before she passed, she was like, "Listen, God wants to use your life. He wants to use your mind, MIND, but He cannot because you need to let stuff go." Some of you, you're very smart, you're brilliant, you're talented, but you have so many layers of like hangups. You have a lot of hurt, you have a lot of pain, you have a lot of unforgiveness, you have a lot of self-doubt that's honestly holding you back from getting to the bag or whatever you want to call it, or being all that you can be. And for me, I had a lot of hurt, a lot of pain. I just had a lot of regret. And she was like, let it go. On her deathbed, she said, let it go. And because, I was reading something earlier and it says, when you have a clear mind, you have steady hands. Some of you cannot build. Some of you cannot build anything right now because your mind isn't clear. A clear mind is steady hands. And when your hands are steady, you're supposed to put them to work for something good. So some of you cannot build because your mind isn't right. Like me, my mind wasn't right. So I spent all last year just working on me and working on myself because I was a mess. And it was like I would get to a certain point and it was just so like self-sabotage. And it was just like crazy. And I got tired. How many of you are tired? How many of you are tired of the starting and stopping, starting? You're tired. If you're tired, type tired in the comments. All right. So before I show you something about like just a little bit of my testimony, let me see. Shakima here is saying, oh, Jerry says, I sponsored my daughter-in-law and she loves it. All right. All right. Did you sponsor her into my program? Is that Shantae? Is that your daughter-in-law? Shakima says, that happened to me regarding sponsorship. Shakima says, I got my first student for my next class from someone that is proud of me and wanted to support my new phase of online coaching. I'm here to tell y'all, Tiffany, she's tired. She's tired, right? Sure, you guys are tired. I got tired. And my stepmom will always say, you're going to change when you get tired. Y'all, I got tired of being brilliant and broke. I got tired of being brilliant and broken. I got tired of being brilliant, but I would start and stop. I just got tired of me. And as my girl Kelly Diana said, you got to go toe to toe. So I went toe to toe with me, like with those false and those false beliefs, those limiting beliefs. I went toe to toe with that, right? And I worked on myself. Then when January 2020 came in, I was just like, God, I really honestly and earnestly been working on myself. I need you to help me with my business. That's the piece that's missing. And I guess God was like, he was waiting for me to get the mind, my spirit, my soul, my emotions, and all that stuff in check, right? And then in January, I just began my morning rituals. Like I read, I do a gratitude journal, I read, I do a lot of that, and I like make sure I sit before God. And I did that in January. I started being like really faithful with it. And in February, God was just like, just start. I'm like, just start what? He was like, you know what you need to do. How many of you know what you need to do? Yes. Okay, Shantae. Yes. Oh, she reminds me you of me. You of me. Yeah, Shantae is on fire. So thank you so much for that. Shantae is on fire. So listen, God was like, just start. I'm like, do start what? He was like, you know what you need to do. How many of you know what you need to do? You know what you need to do, but you're not doing it. And I was like, oh, well, I know I need to get active in my Facebook group, but I ain't been in there, so they probably forgot me. God was like, just start. I was like, I ain't really been putting out classes and stuff. God was like, just start. I was like, oh God, just start, right? So listen. So Shara says, I know what I need to do. Tiffany says she knows. Phoenix, so y'all all know. I was like, ooh. And I was like, but God, I haven't been active in my group. They're not going to respond. Just start. I want some of you to type just start in the comments. So I was like, all right, I gotta get being active in there. And you know what I did? I stopped being interested in being successful and I committed to being successful. Some of you have you dabble, you dibble, you dabble, you have an interest, but you're not fully committed. I just said I am committed to showing up every day. I'm committed, God, to figuring it out. I don't know all the answers. I realize that now. I'm just committed to showing up every day and listening to your guidance. And you guys, I put my hand on the plow and I never look back. And I made my business a priority. Some of you, you're not earning money in your business because it's not a priority. You show up sometimes. Sometimes you show up, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you post, sometimes you don't. You know, even if you get a client, sometimes you show up, sometimes you don't. So I always say, when you get serious about your business, your bank account gets serious about you. So in February, God was like, just start. So I just started. All right. And then some of you, you'll start, but if you don't get the reaction you want or the result you want in a week or two, you give up. So I was just committed, like, this is what I should be doing, right? So I said, I'm just gonna start. I'm just gonna do it, right? So Shara says, just start working on leveling up with the technical part. Well, you know, I got you, girl. So Ruth says, yes, just start. Shakima says, just start. Tiffany says, just start. Phoenix says, just start, right? So I got started. And so in March, the theme that God gave me was like, be dangerously consistent. I got that from a pastor who was talking to me on Facebook one time, and he was like, a young lady told him that she's dangerously consistent. I said, oh, that sounds good. How many of you are dangerously consistent? Dangerously consistent means you're so consistent they can't ignore you. You're so consistent you don't miss a beat. So I said, all right, I'm going to be dangerously consistent and doing what I know I'm supposed to do and showing up and starting. So March was about being dangerously consistent. And then in April, God told me, lay your foundation. So I said, all right. And that's when I actually started teaching classes. And I remember on April the 12th, I had started on this new platform and I had just crossed over $1,000, $1,003. And I was like, yes, you know, I had been on other platforms before and I started this new one. And I was like, okay, you know, I still got it. All right. So I was happy over the $1,000. I shared it. It was April the 12th, 2020. And then I just kept going because I was being dangerously consistent. I started laying my foundation, listening to God and teaching more classes and figuring things out as I went along. Was everything perfect? No, I didn't care. I was just like, exercising my dream, my goals and my gifts and my talents. I was just doing it. And in May, God was like, execute on everything. And God told me in this season, you're not creating anything new. So those of you who have all of those notebooks that are on the shelf, you have all of those notebooks full of your ideas like this, go back and get them. Go back to those ideas. Now is the time to put them out. Like this, how to build your online school. When I first brought it out, it was like people were like, wah, wah, we don't really care. And I'm like, I know it's amazing. They was like, whatever. But then something called COVID happened. Now everybody's online, and it was like, oh yeah, you teaching that online thing. So May was about executing. Some of you think executing is like, oh, you do something, that's execution. No, 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 no. Execution is you plan it, you think about it, it's swift, and you do it with excellence. That's execution. So I was executing in May, and in June, God told me to expand my audience base, go to different platforms because I now had something. So how many of you, Phoenix says, yes, stay committed. Shakima says, I am so consistent like never before. Yes, and it shows up. It shows up like people are knowing who Shakima is. She's getting speaking speaking engagements, speaking opportunities, right? And so I just want to show you all, when you listen to God, when you're obedient, when you do the things that I'm telling you, when you learn how to package up a simple class, just one class, and you rinse and repeat and you rinse and repeat, like, the reward is unbelievable. First of all, my clients are beautiful. Like, they're beautiful on the inside and the outside. They trust me. They follow me. They tell their family and friends about me. They invest in me. And it's beautiful. They listen, they do the work, and they're getting these amazing results. To me, that was like worth everything, because when you're a visionary and when you're someone who you want to see other people win, it's nothing better than people winning based upon the things you've taught them. That's the sign of a good teacher. Like, I want to see you win. Listen to what I taught you. You do it, and then once you do it, you put your own spin on it, right? But see, that's not God's way, though. Because with me, it's like, listen, I would be content. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I'd be content with Shakima earning her $1,300, with Dr. Stevie earning almost $8,000 in a month, with Phoenix getting her first sale. I would be content because this is what I love to do. But no, God says the workman is worthy of his hire. So how many of you want to see my hire? How many of you want to see how I was compensated? Remember, I started out with $1,000 April 12th, but how many of you want to see how I was compensated? And those of you, like, you have to go, definitely go to this link, enroll tonight, because I'm shutting it down on Saturday. But how many of you would like to see how I was compensated? Right? So Tiffany would like to see. Tiffany would like to see, right? And this is nobody but God and his goodness, and his God is just so amazing, y'all. And because people think that, I don't know, they think God is corny or something like that. I don't really know what people think. So Tiffany's the only one who wants to see it, but I'm going to show it to you all anyway. I'm going to show it to you all anyway. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. All right, Nadira says yes. So Nadira wants to see too. Shakima says, show me now. I want to see now. I hope some of my YouTubers are still on here, right? Shara says, me, I bought the notes. Yes, the notes are coming out soon, you guys. I had like 4 deaths in the past 2 weeks, and it took like a toll on me, but I'm getting that. All right, Thud, hey, Thud, long time. Yes, I'm doing well. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. So Thud he's actually on Facebook, but I met him on YouTube. So you guys, da 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 da. This is my online school. Do you see on April the 12th, 2020, this number right here, this revenue was 1,003. Here we are, June 24th, 2020. That's like 10 weeks later. Look at this number. Look at that number. I'm almost at $50,000, you guys. Look at the number of sales, almost at 500 sales. Look at the customers, 160 customers. Remember I told you guys we want to create repeat buyers? I only have 160 customers, but I got 466 sales. I have 300 more sales than I have customers. Those are repeat buyers. These are real numbers. These are my real numbers. I can't edit those. And I'm not showing off. I'm glorifying God because I listen to God. Y'all, I don't have a coach yet. I don't even run Facebook ads. I'm just coming back to YouTube. And my group is like only 1,400 people. So I don't have a large email. I don't have any of the stuff that you would say, well, it's because you have a large following. It's because no. I have people who follow me, but to produce that's nobody but God. Remember my stepmom, let it go, clear it out, a clear mind, steady equals steady hands. You got to put them to work. Remember I said I put my hand to the plow and I just was committed. In February, I didn't see that. Not even in March. If you told me, I didn't even see that in March. And in April, it wasn't until I saw that $1,003 and I posted in my group, like, hey, and I'm like, I know it's small, but it's a new platform and I'm happy. Now, And I'm almost at 50K, baby. I have almost done in 10 weeks. That's 2.5 months with people. It take them a whole year to create. Nadira says it's motivating and it's possible. Like Nadira, you have a larger following than I do. Shar says, wow, excellent. Stevie says, yes. Stevie is not far behind. Ruth says, I am a repeater. Yes. Kim Roundtree says, evening, congrats. Thank you. I want you to know this is possible. I used to be like you. I used to see some people's results and be like, dang, how are they doing that? First of all, I had to clear up all the internals, all my internal shenanigans. Then what I had to do was I had to like change my mindset because I came from the old school coaching where it's like, you got to create a 8-week program. You got to do a launch. You got to charge like $2,500 at least, $3,000. And it's like, when you're doing that, you're in feast or famine. And I'm like, God, I want everyday money. How many of you want everyday money? Type everyday money. Y'all have to start speaking this. I said, God, I want to make money all throughout the day, in the morning, in the evening, and the night. I want everyday money. I want money being deposited into my bank account every single day. And I don't chase money. I don't chase clients. They come to me. I don't chase them. I don't chase money. What I do is I create and I serve, and the money chases me. I started changing my relationship with money. I started having like keeping a money journal and setting weekly money goals. And I wouldn't sleep. I told my clients this, I don't go to sleep unless I got a sale. Some of you need to have higher standards for yourself. Your standards are not, you have no standards. Anything goes with you. And I was like, oh no. When winning becomes your protocol, when earning and serving becomes your protocol, oh, you act differently. And so I'm really tight about my time. Like, I'm not willy-nilly with my time. I don't do any of that, right? So listen, it definitely takes work, but when you love what you do, someone says, evening, congrats. Kirsten, she just joined. She says, you inspire us all. Thank you. Shakima says, I'm so happy for you. Thank you. And Shakima has been there since April. So she's seen this. It does take work, but when you love what you do, it's no work. Yes, you want every day. I want that every day. Every day money. I want every day. I want every day money. So Stevie says, I wasn't online for 90% of the day, but my school still made money today. Amen. You have systems set up. You learn how to market. And when you have an online school, they know where to go. They don't have to like inbox you and hunt you down. Tiffany says, everyday money. Shar, everyday money. Shakima, everyday money. Rue, everyday money. Nadira, everyday money. Stevie, in less than 1 month, she has earned 7,000. I'm gonna just call that 8,000. Or is that no? Okay, $77,795 in less than a month from taking my program. All right, in less than a month. So not only am I successful, but my clients are too. So those of you who you've just joined the online school, congratulations. This is the kind of program you go in order. Don't skip over any steps. You ask questions. This is not something where you're like, oh, I'm going to do it myself. I got this. I'm going to just go off. Because the way I teach, I make it look and appear easy because I understand it intuitively. But you listen, you don't go off into yourself and then think you're going to do it. And then you're going to get stuck. And see, you're used to getting stuck and you're used to giving up. Then you want to come to me. I'm stuck. I say, why are you in the group? Why aren't you asking questions? See, some of you God is going to work on your ego and your pride. So this is a personal development program too. And you're like, ooh, I don't like asking people for help, but you better ask here. Why struggle when all you have to do is ask for help? So those of you, take your time. A week is not a long time to build a school. It should be great. And the next week, we're going to show you how to earn the money. It's really that simple. That is it, and that is all. We make it difficult. Shakima says, yes, sis, that is going to be me. Yes. That's going to be yes. That's going to be all of us who want it to be. Because remember, I used to be sitting back looking at other people's results like, dang, man. Like, because I was still stuck on that old coaching model. And I'm like, she's doing things differently. Like, wow. And now, listen, people looking at me like, man, I want to be like that. And I'm telling you, I followed what God told me to do. I learned how to package, and I learned how to do these smaller offerings. And that has made the difference. And from the smaller offerings, I learned how to use them to introduce my larger offerings. So you don't get to 44,000 by just offering $27 classes and you don't have a large following. If you have a large following, you can do that all day, every day, and you can earn a ton of money. But when you don't do that, you use strategy. So I'll use those, blow you away, get you into my world, and then I'll upsell you to something, to something else that you need. And that's all strategy. Yes, Stevie says it's leverage. That's what it is. It's leverage and it's strategy. And because the thing is, some people, like, let's just say Kirsten, she's been in my group, and I'm like, man, I would love to coach her. And she was in my group for a couple of months. I'm like, she's ideal for me, right? I know my ideal clients. Like, oh, I want her so badly. No, but they may not understand all of your offerings. They may like, I don't know if that's for me or not. I'm not too sure. But when you put out a smaller offering that if they need, they'll hop on it. Then they'll see what all the fuss was about, and they'll get to experience you and be like, oh, okay. And then they'll go and buy more of your stuff. That's just the name of the game, and that is how it works. So Kim says, right, it works. Going up the value ladder. Yes, going up the value ladder. Exactly. That's what you do, you guys. And so I hope that you all have found value. This was a long day for me. I was coaching all day. Clients who I'm coaching them on a higher level, and it takes a lot out of me. So this was the class, but I hope that you all have found some value. If you have, type of V in the comments. V in the comments. All my YouTube folks, everybody say hi to YouTube. All right, everybody say hi to YouTube. All right. Everybody say hi to YouTube. I'm trying to see how some of this works. Oh, hey, ooh, okay. Hey, YouTube. Stevie says, what does Stevie say? Steve, oh, that's me. Shakima's found value. All right. Wait, what's it? Stevie says, what's up, YouTube? Tiffany says, hey. Cher says, hey, YouTube. This is really, really cool, right? Really, really cool that you can say hey. All right, so this is weird. But on YouTube, I can actually respond back. That's pretty cool. All right. Oh, wait a minute. Let me find out. Oh, wow. I'm always learning something new. So that's me. Right now, I'm saying hey, but that's from my page. So my page is saying, hey, everybody. Make sure you join my page. It's called Best Selling Year. So Ruth says, hey, YouTube, what's up? So I'm going to type me in the comments because I found value, right? Best Selling Year, we found value. Make sure you check us out. That is so cool. That's me. That's me. Okay, anyway. See, this is why you want me to be your coach, because I'm always pressing buttons and stuff like that and experiencing cool things, and then I teach it. I teach it so you're never too lost. So you guys, thank you so much for tuning out. Those of you who are interested in the online school, get it, because it's more than just, let me show you how to build this. Let me show you how to package your stuff up, create those classes, rinse and repeat, right? Let me show you how to position yourself, how to create that different kind of content you need, right? Be a part of an amazing community. There are about 85 of us now. We support each other. There's nothing sexier than women earning money and impacting the world, okay? All right, Odell. Hey, Odie. That's my husband, y'all. Hey, babe. He's actually, what are you doing on YouTube? Anyway, that's my husband on YouTube, you guys. And so thank you for that. Nothing like having a supportive spouse. All right, you guys. So this is Shalina Diva, the purpose-driven diva. Like I said, go to that link right there, bestsellingyear.com/online school. All right, you guys, I really, truly do appreciate you. Oh, wait. So YouTube is saying hello. All right. YouTube says, greetings, beautiful, bright stars and amazing ones. Hey. So you can tell it's YouTube if you see the red down at the bottom. Jerry says, I used your 1 point per content as guest Zoom speaker. It was a much more effective approach and more rewarding for participants. Yes, yes, yes. Stevie's saying, oh, Tiffany Johnson is saying, thank you. And so what Jerry means is for your content that you put out, just use 1 point. Just talk about one thing, please. Don't talk about 50 million, 11 things. Because, like, just one thing and then just talk about that. So she says the 1 point per content, and she was a Zoom speaker, and it was much more effective, and the people appreciated it. So shout out to Jerry for that. Shout out to Jerry for that. Okay, you guys. So thank you so much for tuning in. I really, truly do appreciate everyone. This is Shalina Diva, the Purpose Driven Diva, and I will see you on the other side. Okay, everybody, be blessed.